Okay, so we are now live, going to do, this is part 46 of the game engine coding live stream, part 1 of fixing the culling problems. So we should hopefully go through that pretty quickly. So the issue lies, so if I go over to the splash state, and if I'm going to create a rectangle. I think it'll be easier to see this with a rectangle. So if I go to splash state, let me actually get rid of a bunch of stuff that we've got here. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of all of this. I'm going to get rid of all of this. Get rid of that. No longer have a sprite. Get rid of that. And get rid of that. Okay, so if I create a rectangle, rectangle, and I'm going to call it rectangle. Just keep it very simple, the names. And let's initialize this a rectangle equals new rectangle, and I'm going to pass in the data. Some dodgy destructor there. Okay, so let's set some properties. I'm going to say rectangle, and I'm going to say set size to be, say, 100 by 250 by 200, and rectangle set inside color to be color red. Red is my favorite color, so let's do red, and let's just draw it. So we're gonna say rectangle and draw. Bank 21 killer says hello bank, how are you doing? Are you good? Are you good? Good. Okay, so let's give this a run. Let's run it. So we should hopefully get a rectangle. Oh yeah, and actually I want it, there's no reason why I want it 200 wide, but I do want it 200 wide. Let's do 150 height. This is what I want with it. I'm good, just cleaning out my car. Good stuff. Is it just a general clean, or is it dirty for a particular reason? Hey bro, I have a great game application plan. Can you help me? Now, what do you need help with? Okay, so I want to do some input. I'm going to say if keyboard is pressed. So I'm going to say the key is going to be key. So left arrow, left, and I'm going to say rectangle dot move X, and we're going to say, I don't know how much we should move it, say DT times by 10. I don't know if that's going to be any good, but let's try it. And I want to do it, so no, actually that would, we want it negative, sorry, negative 10. I'm going to say float up. make it a constant. So I'm gonna say here hashtag define speed as 10. Okay, so if I copy that, it's just dirty lol. Can you say ik groi grosser Karim? Grosser? I grosser. It's not saying bigger, is it? Grosser than the German Karim. There's some sort of swear word or something profane that you're trying to get me to say. And there we go. Let's do this one on Y. This is up. This is down. Okay, so let's have a look. I just want to be able to move the rectangle around so I can basically no, can move it around, but that's just way too slow. So let's increase the speed to 10 times that. Is that a B or the delta symbol? Are you referring to me or something else that you're seeing? So if we go here, we should be able to go all the way off. It's looking good, looking good, looking good. That's looking good. Now let's go all the way down. Oh no, that looks alright as well. It looks nice and smooth, but that's not what I'm testing anyway. Smoothness is not what I'm testing. No, that all seems alright. I don't know what I was doing when I thought it wasn't working. Let me see what happens if I actually scale it. So if I do a rectangle and I do a set scale, first of all let's set it to a 0.5 scale and give this a run. Then we'll do it to a 2 scale as well on the X and Y. Now a proper translation of it would be my greetings to you, Karim. Is a Turkish name, which is one of my friend, by the way, because he's really into coding and he's currently watching. That's cool stuff. Ik Krub Karim to your friend then. Okay. Let's see what happens if I go all the way to the bottom and do it. What I'm going to do is put in here. So it's either culling it or not culling it. So I'm going to put an SPD log info no call. And we'll say now, before the return though, we're going to say SPD log info cool. Sounds like I'm saying cool. No, it's cool. Okay, so if I run that, no call, no call, no call. Then we got a call. That's cool. That's good stuff. That is really good stuff. and try all the way to the right. So is there a reason you decided to build the engine on top of SFML instead of something like Cocos 2D? So there is a few reasons. Let me just quickly try this, then I'll explain it. And let me just try the top corner before I go to the larger, and I'll explain my reasoning. Okay, that seems to work all right. And before we switch over to 2, I'll explain my reasoning. So I know SFML and Cocos, both of them, very well. Been doing them for a long time. SFML slightly longer, but not much longer, to be fair. So both were pretty decent. In terms of the reasons, I'll go for the reason why I didn't go Cocos. One, it is more advanced than SFML. For that reason, it's got more overhead, and it's like Unreal. You know, probably not going to get more advanced than Unreal as an all-round engine, but it does provide a lot of overhead and a lot of just bulk and bloat for something simple. So that was out of the question. And Cocos, the certain design decisions and the way it's structured the engine that I don't like. So there are certain things I do like, and I am bringing in to here. That's part of the reason I didn't use Cocos. The other thing I've always had problems with Cocos, I always get problems, with the project. Once it's set up, there's always something going wrong or something with this. Or with SFML, I've had less issues, and I think it's because it is a simpler framework. It's more of a framework than an engine. Cocos is an engine. SFML is more of a framework. So there's that as well. So I just felt like SFML was a nice balance between what I knew, but also something that was low, but not too low level. It still had stuff for audio, windows, input, sprites, textures, and I could just build on top of that and use the techniques that I've learned in SFML, Cocos, Unreal, Unity, and all the stuff that I've used and read about, and bring it into here. I think the closest contender to SFML was SDL for it. And it was simply because of how well maintained that is. It gets pretty regular updates. It's gonna get more regular updates than SDL. Gets more love than SDL does. Than SFML does. And it's using a bunch of high-profile games, including Valve games. There was one, I know SDL less, and 2, there's less features in there that I would like to have had, because I don't think it even has technically texture stuff. It's a SDL plugin that you have to install to do that SDL texture. That's stuff that I'm not interested in as of now for this project, recreating. Because I've done texture stuff and loading it from scratch onto a graphics card before, and that's not what was the purpose of this project. Okay, so we set it to 2 times. Don't know how well it's going to work. Well, we'll see, won't we? Okay. So that works well on the left one. Works well there as well. Let me try the bottom boundary. I thought it was the bottom boundary that was messing up, but maybe I was mistaken. I can't remember. Oh, that's appearing. I think my code seems okay. I think just because of the scaling thing and the way how much I was moving it, maybe I moved it too much, and I felt like it should have been on the screen, but it wasn't on the screen. It's working fine. So I just spent 15 minutes trying to fix something that wasn't broken. That's fine. It just helps us, test features like the input, like the culling a bit more. But that's it. You liking the rectangle moving around?
Yeah.
like just a moving rectangle. So yeah, I thought there was an issue when I was doing it a couple of days ago with the no. I thought there was an issue that I saw when I was doing the posting. That when 1 second, as you can see, still partly on screen.
Yeah.
As soon as it goes off screen, you can't actually see it.
Yeah.
SFML that I'm using doesn't prevent drawing of stuff that's outside, so it's still drawing it.
Yeah.
There's no point wasting processing power if you can't see it.
Yeah.
If you can see it, then it's a little different. But I was like, so that was a feature that I implemented. More advanced engines do have that, to be fair, so it's not like I've innovated there. But
Yeah.
I did that, and I thought when I was doing the scaling thing, it felt like when I was trying to move the object down, if it was too big, that he wasn't factoring in the scale, and he was, even though it's partly on there, he was factoring in of the old size. But I think what was happening was I was moving it too far down. So I think that I've just tested it on normal size, small and large. So I think that's what it is. But that's good because that's giving me an idea of a new feature to add to the engine. Ability to just for development enable a grid system.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and specify if you want it. Probably not per pixel. You'll just see it black. Actually, you'll definitely just see black things obviously per pixel, but like every so often.
Yeah.
Again, that'll slow the game down, but you would only have it for testing. I think that would be good for positioning stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll whack that in there, but I'll whack it on the list.
Yeah.
That'll be a good thing to put on there.
Hello,
So.
Mrs. Sona. Hello.
So I missed a couple of comments. Bank says, I see, I do agree. I remember getting Cocos 2D, getting hung up on setting a time. I expect the clock class like in SFML, but you have to set the timer yourself, which I never quite got the hang of. I know there's just stuff like that. Is there any reason why you are using HPP over .h? Main reason is to distinguish it from a C and a C++ project. There's no reason why you can't use .h. When I first learned at uni, I always used .h because that's what we was taught. When I came across seeing some project .hpp, I was like, is this some sort of special C++ header? Because I knew .h could be used in C as well, because that's where I first learned. When I googled it, it was like just a naming convention to distinguish between a C++ and a C1, but that's all it is. But they say you could name the header file whatever. It doesn't have to be HPP. It could be PPPP if you wanted to. There's a couple of header files here, .h ones. They're external files that I've used from other developers, open source stuff. So I'm not messing with that. I'm leaving it as the extension that it is. But that doesn't really matter. What is your color theme in Visual Studio? And hello, Mrs. Sona. Yeah, Mrs. Sona is right there. The color theme. Well, this color theme is it's using VA Assist. If you go to extension, VA Assist. So if you check out Visual Assist, that's part of the color scheme that they provide. Visual Assist is really good. It's a suggestion by Her Dingens, who's a regular on these live streams. Not here today, but he suggested this. It helps a lot. Culling not working. Well, Culling is working, so I can get rid of that. So physics now. So first of all, let me just close that. Let me just rename this to and physics. No problem. LOL. The only thing about SFML for me is that it sometimes can feel deprecated. I'm still trying to get its Android functionality to work, but it's something I've been doing almost entirely alone. Yeah, I know what you mean. SFML, it's just not, doesn't get the same love from the community. It doesn't have the same sort of development team. Like, Cocos is owned by $1 billion company called Chukong, and they're the one that have been managing it for many, many years, probably for all the time that most people have, you know, came across Cocos. So, like, the comparison, it's not a fair comparison, because SFML isn't owned by some big company. As far as it's owned by anyone, apart from the, you know, the creator that made it, but then it's open source anyway. So yeah, there is that. I will get onto the iOS and Android side of this engine when I do that, and hopefully successfully I will make video tutorials as well. So that's something I wanted to do. If this works with Android and iOS, that will be solid. Like that's one of the concerns I have. I've read that it can be done. It's officially supported on the website. But if get that working, obviously we probably won't get high tech features in there, but we probably could access native code like Java or Kotlin for Android, or something like Sprint. No, what's the iOS language? Objective C and Sprint language. I hate Sprint. Sprint don't sound right. It's the one that's bird. It's a bird in roll. Like Spirit? No. Swift. That was it. Swift. Exploiter was nice enough to direct me to the official repos for the dependencies at least. Yeah, that was nice. Okay, so we're looking at the physics and we want to do circle collision detection. If we go to drawable.hpp, we got bounding box collision detection. Very basic stuff. And that's just built in, I believe, anyway. Bounding box, is it not? Pretty well. Object. Yeah, I should be an underscore. Yeah, there's Jack all accessible here. So I implemented it myself. That's fine. It's just stuff that I've done before and I've got it off Google anyway. Is this gonna give me errors? I've just done underscore object. Give us a quick build. I think there might be some errors. Let's look at the main CPP in SFML Android example. There's comments saying even they can't get sound to work properly. I'm like, what chance do I have? Yeah, I know what you mean. If they're not getting to work properly. Again, the other reason I'm not that... Yeah, there's a bunch of errors. I'll fix them in a second. The other reason I'm not that fussed about Android and iOS for this project is I want something solid for PC. That's my goal. Program on PC. One, don't have hardware limitations, though, I mean, processing power, though mobile devices are very powerful now compared to how they were in like 3GS was a nice jump. But in 2G and the 3G days for iPhone, the early Android days, they were terrible. Like the iPhone days was pretty optimized, but the Android days, no, that was not nice at all. So like I was saying, the reason I'm not that fussed is my concentration is on here. And let's say if I did a project and it started going really well, let's say financially, and I could warrant porting it over, then obviously I could warrant the time or outsourcing it or porting the engine or even making it on top of SDL, something like that. But because my goal isn't direct money with these, the potential game is just to create something and release it out there and grow the channel and grow the GitHub page. It's a little different. Easy. give this a build. Let's see if there's any errors now. Okay, so that's that done. We want to do circle collision. SFML does not have that built in on positive, so SFML circle collision. Apparently I've already done a video on it. It's a long video, so that must mean it's a pretty complex one.
Hello.
Jesus, that was loud. Hello. Do you enjoy your bundle's voice? Hello.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah.
What to say, babe? Calm down.
Oh, did you think that was me?
No, but I was. What's going on?
Oh.
And I'll be right here unless the world has ended and there's no more internet. Then I guess learning SFML is the least of your worries.
If the world's ended, of course, yeah.
The hardware, therefore, only you.
Calm down. Let's go on to SFML circle collision. Here we go. That is it right there. Do I use the shipwrecks? I think I do, don't I? Your Flappy Bird tutorial does great with collision. I can't remember what sort of collision I implemented in there. Did I even implement the collision detection, or did I just implement some sort of dodgy bounding box one? I honestly can't remember what sort of collision I implemented in there. I know that's a very popular tutorial series of mine, the Flappy Bird one. Obviously I know why, because everyone's trying to create the Flappy Bird clone. Remember when Don Gwen, when he created that, we were making $50,000 a day before he took down the app. Insane money that was. Imagine if he had invested all that in Bitcoin as well at the time. Copy that. Yes, that's it. There's really not much more to it than that. So if we go, so check if the object is collided with another using circle collision detection. The other object to check collision with circle collision circle collision, and let's right click. So this is the visual assist beauty, so just do that. There we go. You hard coded it. Yeah, I think you might have been very good, but just like say hard coded it for that one specific purpose. And I think I may have just tweaked it heavily. So because I do briefly remember when I was planning that tutorial series, I was doing the collision, and sometimes it would work really well. Sometimes your bird would go into the object and then it would detect it. Sometimes it would detect it when you can blatantly see it's not touching. So it's definitely a manual implementation. Okay, so we'll do this one, reg sprite. I'll put that as so I need to get the local bounds. Did I not implement get local bounds? Get global bounds? Because if we do set a yellow sprite, if we do so these will change a-okay. So for the red sprite, we'll consider it as this object passed in object. So for this, we'll say we shouldn't even need to do a getter. We can just say underscore position 0. What is position 1? Here we can just say, so this is X. We'll literally just say object get position X, object dot get position Y, return false. Okay, so I was gonna fix this. Do we not have global bound? I thought we did have global bound stuff implemented. I guess not. Maybe it's only in the local class. How would we get global bounds for the drawable? Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Why is that returning? That's returning a float rect. So if I do float rect here, that's fine. So if I do underscore global bounds, and I'm gonna say, let's say I'm doing the rectangle one for now. Underscore global bounds equals get global bounds. Let me copy that. Let me put this one here. Set position. The set size we want to change it for. We want to change it for this one.
Maybe I'm gonna get some food.
Okay, that's fine. You gonna bring it back here, or you can do? Yeah, bring it back here. There you go. There you go. Set scale. Actually, it does. I'll just do that. At the end of the day, even if it's not changed, It's just an extra method call, I guess. Set pivot. Set pivot X. I've already done it in the set scale, haven't I? So I don't, it's redundant doing it there. Set texture. We do it here, okay, that's all good. It was just like that, but you use SF rect 1 sprite global. Ah, cool. Cool. Could have been old, probably would have been an old version of SFML. Probably why it's like that. Well, this one I can just do this. Literally just say underscore global bounds. But we need a getter for this. So we're gonna say we'll do the same one from here. And what we'll do, once we've got this one, obviously some will override it, some won't, but within here it won't be overridden. Return underscore global bounds. Okay, so here what we'll say is glm vec2 vec4 dot left top width height here we're going to say float ff float rect so we'll literally say underscore no say object dot get global bounds should be in 2. The third value by its index is 2, and here we go. It should be all good though now. Global bounds for the object bounding bar relative to the window. copy that. Let's go to circle. Put that there. I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to put it in the set radius. I mean, maybe the set point count might change it potentially. I don't know if it would. I mean, yeah, I guess position would change it as well. I guess most things would. Rotation is highly doubted, but I'll put it in here anyway. I'm doing sprite as well. So I'll copy that. Let's paste this here, put this here. I feel like I've missed some out here. Need to do set position, but obviously it's relative to everything. No triangle. Larry says, xLarry88 says, hello there, and Bank also says hello to Larry. I'm assuming he's saying it to Larry because he's already said hello to me. Woohoo. Bless you, thank you very much. Don't worry, I haven't got the coronas. During the cold months of the year, a lot like winter, autumn, I get sniffles every single year, without fail. Without fail. let's create a couple of circles now. Circle 1, circle 2, and we're gonna say, for me it's spring since I have allergies, or like hay fever, that sort of stuff. Circle. Don't understand anything, but I like seeing this. Good stuff, good stuff. As long as you like it, that's all that matters. It's circle 1. And we need to say equal new circle. Yeah, there's a couple of constructors I believe. Underscore data and the radius one. Actually, is there one without the data? No, there should only be these two. Is there another one? Might be up here, possibly. No, I don't know where we're getting that from. Underscore data and a radius 50. Not that it really matters too much. Circle 1. Set inside color. And I know I've made a mess up, but it's underscore date instead of underscore date. Blue. Circle. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. I'm going to set another circle now. So circle 2. We'll put this as green. Put this as a size of 100. And circle 2. And we're also going to change the position as well. Set position. 200 by 300, that should be fine. And okay, first of all, let's draw this. Don't want to draw this. Let's say circle, draw, circle 2, draw, and we're gonna say circle 1 is the one we're moving here now. Okay, let's give this a run. Okay, so we got a question. If you have a bunch of undefined references at compile time, what are the usual culprits? That is assuming that the references are actually defined. What? Have you got like an error in your project or something? Like, well, what's this? Can you sort of dive a bit deeper into this scenario? I'm finding it a bit difficult of what question you're trying to ask. Gotta make sure this memory ain't creeping up crazy as well. 71 now. That seems pretty calm. Okay. No, I don't want to say culling anymore. Drawable. Get rid of that. And get rid of them, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so I'm going to say in here, in the update, if circle 1, circle collision with circle 2, I'm going to say SPD, I know it's giving me an error, I'll have a look at that in a second. SPD log info collision detected, else SPD log info no collision detected. No collision. Drawable. How is that drawable game passed in? How would it get passed in? Do I have bounding box implemented in here? And then I've just overwritten it? Didn't think I did. No, so how would I even... No, it is a public or drawable. I don't see... Is that not public drawable? Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's drawable, inherited from drawable as well. For example, if you're building a make file using nmake, have included cassert and get an error while building that says the identifier cert is undefined. Oh, I thought undefined references as in an actual reference in the code itself. Ooh. Is it referencing something in the code? Is it giving some sort of line number? Will that work? Oh yeah, because it's a pointer, isn't it? First of all, I want to get very close to it. As you can see, there's no collision detected yet. It's looking good. Yep, that works. So good in the hood. That's done it for... Yeah, we'll just do it for both, that's fine. Okay, so we're going to say pixel perfect collision now. That is using an external library. I'm positive of it. My code here that I'm using, my example, I'm positive that I'm using external library. Pixel perfect collision is very, very heavy on the processing, so you generally don't want to do that stuff, but you have that option if you really, really want to. Yes, the error refers to the line while assert is used and says identifier assert is undefined. That would suggest to me that it doesn't know what that code is. Like you're trying to use assert in the wrong way, or it's not picking up what it is. That's what that suggests to me. Okay, so we're going to do SFML pixel perfect collision. I've got it as well, but I want to see what other people have done in case there's a better version of it out there. Is he using, maybe he's using the same library as me.
So what's up, everybody? And pixel, it means that there's a collision, else. And if you look at this, if it was bounding box collision, it would have said that we would have been colliding right now. And I know it shows collision right now, but I was just doing some stuff before. But notice, pixel.
You know what? Since he's made videos as well. A year ago, man. What bothers me is that I've used the setting this way before, but I don't get it. Could it be the way the project set up? Is this a different type of project setup or something like that? A different environment that could be messing with? This has bounding box and circle. The bounding box, which we've already done. It's fine. Oriented bounding box, using the bounding box test. Circle test. No, I don't need that. We've done circle. Pixel perfect test. Then let's commit the code that we've got so far. Give it a build, commit it, and then I'll implement the pixel perfect collision as well. Okay, so what do we fix? We fixed. There was no change in culling, so I'm not even going to commit that. That was obviously the top title of the video because I thought we was gonna have to fix culling, but we didn't. What we did was circle collision detection. Push to origin. Okay, so must be the libraries and possibly could be the libraries. So let's do pixel perfect. First of all, let's download both of these files. Did I? No, I never did that one, did I? I remember having issues trying to get it locally to here. Okay, I'll just copy and paste it from here. So I'll just say raw, do the same for the H, and going to call collision.h, I believe it's called. I'll call it collision.hpp, and I'll put it in code, project code, include engine external. Two L's for collision. Let's whack that here, and we'll also whack over the CPP file, collision.cpp. Let's get into here, engine external. I'll just do file new item. Accidentally got two I's, my bad. I'll copy that. Let me open up Visual Studio. Let me add this over. Let me go into collision.cpp first, actually. Okay, collision H. Here's one of these, wasn't it, that I duplicated with the GR extern? There we go. Okay, let's go to raw, copy that. Give it a quick build, make sure there's no errors. There's no errors now. So for this, it will only work with a sprite, which is fine. So I'll implement in the sprite. So what do we need? We need both sprite objects, alpha limit. Okay, so I'll literally copy and paste this. I'll put in sprite.hpp. So this has both of them, return type and parameters. So parameters, there's a total of 3 parameters. It returns true if the collision is successful, and check for pixel perfect collision, very heavy on the processing. And we're gonna say object 1, boom 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 de boom 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 boom. Ooh, there's a bunch of things we gotta change here. Object 1, which is first object to check collision. this is going to be alpha limit. So I'm going to put this as a const reference. And we're going to say, the sprite, we're going to say literally the sprite object. And we're not even going to say that. We're going to say, we're only going to have the one object. Object like so. Object check collision with. It's a perfect collision. And here I need to include hashtag include external collision.hpp, and here we go. And we're gonna say why is that all messing up? Incomplete type. Is it because of the collision.hpp? There's something in here that's messing it up. Let me have a look. So if I go over to sprite and I go over to yeah, I haven't returned the value, but why are they messing things up? I don't know. Well, what was happening before? Let's go back to it. So collision, that's fine, and we need to return a value that is fine. So we'll say, what was the namespace that he was in? Collision pixel perfect test. So first of all, we need to provide it with an sprite. So we'll say object. And we'll say underscore, no, we'll say underscore sprite. Then we'll say object. Now for limit. Yeah, so that object is not a sprite, so we need to actually get hold of that. So we need to say that we need to be able to access this sprite. So we're literally going to say SF sprite get SFML sprite const create implementation and we're going to say what we're going to say is return underscore sprite, and we're going to say object dot get SFML sprite alpha limit, boom, done. Well, I need to describe the alpha limit. Okay, so that's that done. I need to comment this. Return type no parameters, and this is gonna be get the underline SFML sprite, not PS or night or something. Sprite object. Output returns the sprite. Output returns the SFML sprite object. And give it a quick build. I think that's done now. Just for sprites. And we'll commit that in a second. We'll say sprite okay, see what we get. We are almost there. Okay, so we're gonna say sprite pixel perfect collision detection. Commit to master. Yeah, this end is coming along nicely now. Very, very nicely. Okay, push to origin, and tomorrow it is parallax backgrounds. So it's 47 parallax backgrounds. That'll be an interesting one to take a look at. Okay, so now that is committed. That's done. Tomorrow we'll look at parallax background. Depending on how long that takes, might get onto file loading as well. We'll actually look. We'll Google. Google. See what others done and potentially use if there's some open source one that looks good for what we need. Saving and loading, so single piece of data, chunks of data like a database. So as far as I'm aware, SFML doesn't have that built-in. Cocos has a basic built-in. Even Cocos one was a bit bare. SFML load files. I've always wondered, when writing your own game, how do you test if everything's working like intended? Obviously, part of it's you're testing as you go along. Some stuff I'm not testing because I'm semi being confident that it'll work, or I've tested something similar and I'm just doing a copy and paste. But you're never going to get anything 100%. I've discovered stuff weeks later, or even a month later, where I'm like, okay, I've fully worked. Then I was testing something else, and I was using another feature that I implemented ages ago that I was thinking, that's working fine, there's nothing wrong with it. Then I was testing, I was like, this new feature ain't working. Turned out it wasn't the new feature that was the problem. The code for it, that was solid. It was the old feature, was broken, and it may have worked in that limited scenario that I tested in, but didn't work in this scenario. But that happens, that comes with time. And that's the reason engines get updates, or one of the reasons, is to fix old problems. So that happens. Load, save data. Saving high school again, yeah. See, this is obviously one of my videos. How did I do it? Did I just use streams? Yeah, I just used streams, didn't I? Obviously, all that sort of stuff I want separate class for. I don't want to be doing this std : outstream write file. I just want to something like file, open file, save. Like, I don't want to be checking is open. That's what I want, you know, the thing to do, the class to do. So saving and loading stuff.
That we can actually overwrite it. So again, so let's just get a score of 3. I want to get a score of 4, maybe 5. I think that's enough now. And when I die, it goes high score 5, best 5. If I die, it says 0, 5. So we have successfully saved our.
There we go.
Hey guys and girls, welcome back to another beautiful video on the beautiful channel on this beautiful day. How you guys and girls doing?
He's speaking fast for no two like normal speed.
Also, don't like, subscribe, like, comment. So there you go. It's really nice to sunny outside today, but I'd rather be inside playing this game. And also, did it change the font here? I'm not 100% sure. It looks
I
really
can still hear what he's saying, but that is fast.
I like it though.
It's too bad updating engines. This whole problem always comes with new problems. Oh, it does. That's the reason it's recommended not to. But like, if you're creating a game, you create it with, I don't know, engine version 2.2 and engine version 2.3 comes out. I'm just using engine as a, you know, generic name. Could be Cocos, could be Unreal, whatever it is. Don't update to 2.3 unless you really need to. If there's some feature in there or some bug fix that you absolutely need, or if you're just doing it for the sake of it, do not update mid-project. I've done that. I've seen other people do that. It will mess things up. It might not be straight away, but it will.
make sure where all the that. Let's save that. Crash. We'll go into your file.
This guy making an open world RPG. This is interesting. He's doing some live streams as well. SFML. Ooh.
So we have our array. This isn't going to be called array. This is going to be called score board. Yeah, there you go, bro. Daniel. Good day, bro. Hope you're doing great. Hello, everybody. And then what we can... I'm not upset much, but let's just...
I wonder what he achieved at the end of this. How new is this particular video?
Hey everybody, hope you're doing
A few
great.
months old.
Check out the description box. See, the enemy still has a huge hitbox compared to what the rat is, and we don't like that. So we're going to be changing that soon as well. So in our center, in our player update, you'll see that we're getting center here. What I want to do is I want to get sprite center, the new function we created, and this will allow the sword to...
Okay, so that's all good. What was that one? Input stream. Read, seek, tell, get size. Maybe. Saying this doesn't really do it. Doesn't. They're just virtual methods, so. I need to add this to the to-do list or something else. That was the grid. It was add grid for debugging / developing ability to set space between lines, or how many lines, and / or how many lines in both axes. There we go. Okay, so that is it. We're going to wrap up for today, and thanks for watching. I'll be doing 2 more live streams tomorrow, one at 11 AM UK time GMT, and that will be the Crisis Remastered PS5 recovery level live stream. That's the journey to gain the platinum. Then at 4 PM UK time GMT will be part, is it 447 today? Part 47, and that will be parallax background, implementing parallax background. So that is it. Thanks for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing it. I've got a couple of questions. Yeah, especially when you're using new buggy features. Yeah, I learned the hard way that you really shouldn't update unless you absolutely have to. Android is just like this NDK 20, API 29, SDK 5 million, Grado plugin 6.rc, etc. I know I get anxious after every update. See it, dude. I get anxious after doing the Android updates as well. I know what you mean. It's just like, oh Jesus Christ! Like, it's just like, oh no, I'll see this or this, that. It is intense. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for both streams. Goodbye, and have a good night.